Hey everyone, today in Guitar Basics we're going to go over three things: hammer-ons, pull-offs, and slides. Now, hammer-ons and pull-offs may be used more so in electric guitar, but when you're playing chords you can use hammer-ons and pull-offs to really make some of your chords sound really cool. So what we'll do is we'll go into hammer-ons first, and then move into pull-offs, and then do some slides at the end, okay? Okay, so about hammer-ons, basically what a hammer-on is instead of having your finger on the guitar at any one point or any one note and picking it like so, what you do is you either pick an open note, which is just like this with nothing pressed down, or pick another note like so, and basically what you do is you take another finger and you hit down onto the string, okay? So with an open note, so we'll do an A here, and then we'll hammer down onto the second fret of the A with our first finger. So basically it's like this. So we pick, and then we take this finger and we hammer down. Right? So pick, so that's one picking motion with our right hand, and we get two notes for that. So again, we can do that the same thing on the E string. Okay, now as I was saying, if we want to, we can take, say, the second fret here on the A string where we hammered onto, and we can take our third finger and hammer down onto the fourth fret here on the A string. So it'll sound like this. Notice that my right hand is only picking the string once. Okay? Now it takes a little bit of practice because you have to gain some strength so that you can hammer down hard enough to make that note ring out, okay? And again, we could do it here on the big E string. Okay? Now that's a hammer-on. Now also what we can do, like I said, you can use hammer-ons during a chord. For instance, if you were playing a C chord, which is like this, what I could do to make that C chord sound a little cooler, and a lot of bands and musicians will do this because it kind of gives a cool sound to any chord. What I could do is I could use my second finger here and I could hammer on to that note. See this note here on the second fret of the D string? What I could do is instead of just going like this and strumming that chord, I could hammer on like so. And then if I wanted to, if I was strumming, I could go on and off. See how that makes your chords really cool? Now I could do a variation of a four-finger G here, and I could take my first finger and say I will hammer on to the second fret of the G string here. So it could sound like this. See how that goes? Now that makes that sound completely different, and this makes it sound cool. Okay? Now that's hammer-ons. They're pretty simple. Now you just have to gain some dexterity and some strength in your left hand here to press down fast enough and hard enough and with enough accuracy so that you don't hit another string and then you'd get a little bit of a buzzing sound. But basically that's what it is. Okay? Alright, perfect. Now practice those. Now you can do those almost anywhere on the guitar neck, and with almost any chord really. We could even do it with an E minor, and I could hammer on my first finger where the E is supposed to be and go like this. Alright, now we're going to move in to pull-offs, which are basically the exact opposite of our hammer-ons. Alright, so with pull-offs, like I said, they're the exact opposite of our hammer-on. So instead of going onto the string, what we're going to do is we're going to pull off the string. Now, pull-offs are a little bit more difficult, and this is the reason why. When you do a pull-off, it's not a straight motion. It's actually a downward motion, kind kind of like that, right? Now I'm going to zoom in here in 2 seconds, so I'm going to show you exactly what this finger is doing with these hammer-ons. But basically, we could do a hammer-on, I'll just give you an example before I zoom in, of one of those same chords. Let's do the C, because we did the C earlier. Now what I can do is I'm going to do a C, and I'm going to pull my second finger off here, okay? And it will sound like this. Okay? Now let's zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, now that we're zoomed in, I know you can't see my right hand, but my right hand is doing the identical motion as we did for the hammer-ons, okay? So basically, as you can see my fingers here, what you're going to do is you're going to pull down. Now you can do a pull-off without actually picking with your right hand. So I could just have my hand here on the 2nd fret again on the A string and just give it a little pull. You see how it just kind of pulls off? Now, if you wanted to get a little bit more intricate, what you could do is you could do a hammer-on and a pull-off afterwards. So both in sequence. So what I'll do is I'll just hammer on to this. So an open A I'm going to hit, then I'm going to hammer on, and then I'm going to pull it off. Okay? Now I only picked 1 time with my right hand. I didn't pick twice, I didn't pick 3 times, but I got 3 notes out of that. So we'll do it again. Okay? You can do that up on the big E string as well. Okay? And you can do that down here as well. So I could just pick this, and you just kind of give a little bit of a pull. Now, the more of a pull you give it, the more it's going to ring out for you. So you could go. Okay? So again, this takes a little bit of dexterity, a little bit of strength, and a little bit of precision. So we could go. That was 2 hammer-ons and 1 pull-off with 1 pick with the right hand. So what I did was, so a hammer-on from the open A to the 2nd fret of the A with our 1st finger, then I hammered on with my 3rd finger to the 4th fret of the A. Now I just picked that, but in the original one I did not, okay? And then I pulled off from this one here on the 4th fret of the A string to give that 2nd fret another note, and then I pulled off again. So slowly it would sound like this. Now again, we could do that on the big E. Okay? Or you could do that anywheres, really. You could do say we start on the 6th fret of the A string. We could do a little bit of a pull-off, then hit the note again and let go of everything, and then go. So it would be like. Okay? Now that's hammer-ons. Now again, like I said, you got to practice these to gain that dexterity and the strength in your hands. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to slides. Alright, so slides is basically, you can do this in a few different ways. You can do slides on individual strings, and you can also do slides with chords. Now, some of the chords that we were doing that were in power chord shape, if you've watched our basic chords videos or any of the song videos we have here on YouTube, you'll see that some of the chords, we can use them and we can change between them doing a slide. Now for instance, excuse me, we can do a C minor here, which is basically a power chord shape, if you can see here, okay? Now if I want to slide up to a C sharp, okay, we can go like that. Now this is also a B, a C minor and a B are the exact same note. And so what we do is we keep our fingers on the fretboard and we slide. We don't let them up like this. Okay? Now what we'll do, just so it's a little bit simpler for you to see, is we'll start with 1 finger, okay? So what we'll do, and now we're going to stay onto this 2nd fret on the A, just because we did it for the hammer-ons and the pull-offs as well, so we're familiar with that. So what we'll do is we'll put our finger onto the 2nd fret here on the A string, pick one time with our right hand, sorry, and slide. So if you wait too long to do your slide, you're not going to get much of a resonating sound out of your guitar because the strings already stopped vibrating. So what we'll do is we want to slide pretty soon after we pick. So it should sound like this. Okay? Now we're still getting 2 notes out of that one pick with our right hand. Now if we wanted to do it up and down, we could go, okay, and then we get 3 notes with one pick, okay? Now, if you wanted to get a little bit more intricate and use 2 fingers like we were doing with the hammer-ons and pull-offs, we could go like this. We could go from the 2nd fret, slide up to the 4th fret, then put our 3rd finger down here onto the 6th fret, slide back down to the 4th, and then pick on the 2nd. So in regular time it would sound like this. Okay, now that's two strokes, 2 picks with our right hand, but we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes out of that. Okay? So slowly we pick here on the 2nd, okay? Or slide, okay? Now that's a slide. Now another thing what you can do is some of the chords that we play, like I said, you can interchange them and you can change between them by using a slide. Now a C chord, you can do a slide with a C chord. Take the C chord, okay, and then slide it up. Keep your fingers exactly where they are, and let's slide it up so that our 3rd finger ends up on the 5th fret, okay? So we can go like so. Okay, so all we're doing is we're keeping the form of the chord with our left hand exactly the way it is, and we're sliding up. Okay? Now that is sliding. So thanks for watching the video, and I really hope this helped you. Practice these out, and don't forget to check out our other videos about guitar basics and how to learn to play some songs. Okay guys, thanks again for watching, and good luck.